Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever this video finds you, I hope you're having a rad time. I'm the Figure Dude, and today we continue closing in on the end of our Ruthless Aggression Showcase with another episode. Without further ado, let's talk about some figures. Dude. Welcome back. Like I said, we are going to continue just trucking through my Ruthless Aggression collection. It's my favorite section of my collection, and I have plenty. You know, I really like my New Japan collection. It's much smaller, but it's got a lot of figures that we don't have figures of. But I'd say that for another day. I've got some more. I've done one showcase with my New Japan stuff, but I've made a lot since then, so we'll get back around to that eventually. We haven't even gotten all the way through the Ruthless Aggression, so wanted to continue doing that. And my plan is to make everyone from the Ruthless Aggression era. Anyone that had even a tiny bit of relevance, I want to make them. That was my favorite time to watch. I want to make like a Rodney Mack figure. And if you were not watching during the Ruthless Aggression era, even if you were, you might have no clue who that was. He was managed by Teddy Long. He would come out and he would have his white boy challenge, where it was just like an open challenge to see how long you could last with Rodney Mack. He was like the husband of Jazz or something and was around for a while. But anyway, until we get to Rodney Mack, we don't need to talk about him too much more. So let's go ahead. Let's get started here. One of the mainstays, or the mainstay of the Ruthless Aggression era, was John Cena. He wasn't always polarizing. A lot of people just, at least I feel like, just really liked him when he kind of started his like rapping gimmick. He was funny. I'm surprised that a white dude from Massachusetts got over the way he did it with a rapping gimmick, but it worked. So we've got some Cenas here, and this is not all of them. There's a lot of different ones from different time periods throughout, but we've gotten a ton of his attires, and they are really, like, Mattel's really gotten it down with Cena's figures. Obviously, the feet are the big issue, and I like the leg mold aesthetically. I think it looks very good, but you can, if you have any Cenas, you know that it doesn't take much for them to fall over because the ankle joints are super loose. Like, this one's pretty good. This one is awful. Like, he goes back and forth a lot. Just the feet are terrible, but the true effects, everything, like the wristbands that are now molded on, just some fantastic figures. This is from one of the WrestleMania series, I believe, from when he fought Shawn Michaels, I think, at WrestleMania. I did give him black shoes. I think he came with different ones. I don't remember exactly. This is one of the Top Picks figures, which was just a redo of an older Elite. These two are the Ultimate Editions, and this one has the feet swapped, I believe. With Cena, I just kind of like to mix and match things just to, I don't know, like, maximize the look, I feel like. So those are a few of the Cenas I have in my collection. This is kind of from the same time frame, so wanted to squeeze these in here for this episode, but now on to some more. Next up, we have King Booker, and we have my Elite Custom Mr. Kennedy. And this Mr. Kennedy has been fine in my collection. First off, he doesn't have his tattoo on his back. And then I do have the tattoo here, but I made it before I was doing decals, so that on the front is painted. Same on the back, and it looks fine, but I am going to circle back around. I'll fix up this Kennedy again. I thought about using the Ultimate Edition torso. I've seen a lot of people use the Austin torso, which I think fits pretty well. So Mr. Kennedy's on my list to redo. I'll probably do him in like his WrestleMania attire when he won Money in the Bank, but I have a decal to put on this for his actual like Money in the Bank logo. And then I have a Jax head on him, and that's been the Mr. Kennedy in my collection for some time. I don't know what he's up to these days, but I'm from Wisconsin. He's from Wisconsin. I always thought that was cool, even though he was a big ol', he was an a-hole. He was quite the tool as a heel, great heel. But anyway, That's Mr. Kennedy. Over here, we've got the King Booker, which is not the only King Booker we've gotten. I think this figure is fantastic. This was the, was it Hall of Fame or Hall of Champions line at Target? We got this one, and we've gotten the white version was in, which I think I really like that white attire, but gold is cool. We don't get a lot of gold attires, so I do like this figure, but I could see us getting a re-release of this King Booker. I would kill for a soft goods robe with this. It all looks really good. The soft goods robe, I think, would just like put it way over the top. That would be really cool. Even if we could get like a 2-in-1 for an ultimate, like an ultimate Booker with swappable arms, so that he could kind of, if they give him like a black attire, we could swap off the arms and give him like the pre-King Booker. I don't know, just throwing stuff out there anyway. But this King Booker's an awesome figure. Like I said, I'm going to fix up Kennedy. Let's keep moving on. Next up, some of my favorites. We've got the 2 Umaga Elites, and then we have my custom Armando Alejandro Estrada. And I'm glad we've gotten these Umaga figures. I remember, I think, was it Elite 41? Maybe we got this black one, and I was shocked. It was one that, I wasn't really expecting. I don't know why. I think it was like, he was not a main event guy. He mixed it up with Cena. Cena had plenty of like monster heels he fought, but I thought it was just a really cool figure. And obviously, like with all the tattoos and everything, face paint, he's a big dude. That's like kind of right up my alley for figures that I like really like. I think they do the big guys really well. My issue with the Umagas are that I think they're too tall. He was a big guy, but the legs that they used for this, and then they just took a formula straight from the Wild Samoan figures, which are also too tall. Like, they were large people, but they weren't like super tall. So that's one issue I wish they'd fix. But outside of like the actual height, I think the figures look fantastic. I'm now noticing that these tattoos are not anywhere near the same, which I assume that's accurate, and that's why they did that, but you never know. Sometimes they change things up. These are just from different times, I guess, but I really like this red one. This red one was with the Royal Rumble Elite Set series, I think, pretty sure. And then obviously, so this was the Triple H figure, or no, MVP. It was MVP, and then I swapped out the hands. I put on a different torso from a different basic figure, just to change things up a little bit. And then it's a Jax Armando Estrada head. I don't even remember like what set. I think I got it like in a lot for pretty cheap, but I would love if we got an Elite or like a Build-A-Figure of him. I think that'd be really cool. I always love managers, and Umaga I always thought was really cool. This one does have the swappable hands, and I think there's an extra head for this one, like with this scan. I don't remember, but still, great figures. Absolutely huge hole in my Ruthless Aggression shelf. That's filled. Sorry. Next up, we are digging deep into the Ruthless Aggression roster with Mordecai and Kenzo Suzuki. So this Kenzo Suzuki, I think he had one, maybe 2 figures. He had a 2-pack with Rene Dupree, which is where I got this head scan from. I saw it on Facebook Marketplace. Someone was selling a lot of old Jax figures. It was like 6 or 7 of them. And they were selling it for like $20. And this Kenzo Suzuki is extremely hard to find, just at all. Not just that it's expensive. There's only, I think when I had been looking, and maybe it's different now, there's only like 3 or 4 actual listings for the Kenzo Suzuki figure at all. So when I saw it in the lot, I was ecstatic. I immediately hopped on it. I grabbed it because I remember, like, my dad really liked Kenzo Suzuki for some reason. My dad was always like kung fu movies, and I don't know. My dad thought Kenzo Suzuki was cool. He did some tag teaming. I think he even won the tag belts with Rene Dupree, if I'm correct, which is I think why they had that 2-pack together. But I used the Shinsuke body pretty much for him. I gave him, he had like a wrap on, so I just used some like felt in my collection, in my crafts box set, whatever. to kind of give him that wrap all the way around. And he wore gold, and I think he wore like some long red pants a lot. So if you're a Ruthless Aggression fan, I'm sure you're thinking, wow, I cannot believe you made a Kenzo Suzuki. And then on the same token over here, this was kind of what I went with for Mordecai. I don't love it. I use a Kevin Thorne head. Obviously, they're the same guy. I just repainted his face and his facial hair and his actual hair to give it that like white blondish look. And he still like looks like Kevin Thorne, but they're the same guy. It's just the aesthetic was a little bit different. So it worked for me. For the torso, I painted his logo on there, and then I did a dry brush with white. And then once I sprayed it, it kind of gave it that like kind of translucent look like what he actually wore. So that part I was really happy with. The legs and everything, like he just wore white. So I just painted some legs white, gave him some white kick pads. And it does work. I think Heteration has a Mordecai on his website, but it says pre-order, so I don't know if you can order that. It said pre-order for a long time. I've never seen anyone make it. I don't know if it's actually available, but that's something I've always considered. And Mordecai, I thought was someone that they were going to get a lot of run out of fighting. Like his first feud, I don't know, maybe it wasn't with The Undertaker, like, but it was supposed to be. Like he had one pay-per-view match, I forget who it was against, and then he was supposed to fight Undertaker, and then he just kind of disappeared, and I don't remember, probably like backstage stuff, but two people that I was really excited to have in my collection. Next up, we have the Highlanders, and I feel like they are most notably known for getting fired because I think this is Rory, it's Rory and Robbie, I can't remember which one was which, but this guy with the long hair went to an Impact taping while the WWE was in Florida and was on screen. And then they, I don't think they immediately got fired, but I think they got buried pretty quickly and were gone from the company, and that was the end of them. But I, as a kid, thought these guys were funny. They reminded me a lot of the Bushwhackers. Their whole, like, Scottish gimmick shtick, I thought, like, they had a lot of really funny vignettes that they had upon debuting, and I thought they were cool, and they were a tag team. I always liked like actual tag teams, so at the time I thought they were funny. These guys are just a like perpetual work in progress in my collection. The body, like everything is together, but I know they had some tattoos. I want to get some of the leg sleeves that are on the Berserker figure, but he's not like a super cheap figure, so I've kind of held off on doing that. But I think those would make a big difference. And then these kilts are from the Drew McIntyre figure, so they work, but they're not. I want some some brown ones, so that just look a little more like what they wore. And again, like those are some things that I'm not like dying to finish my Highlander customs. They work for now. But characters, like these are both Jack's heads, so once I had them available, I was pretty excited to make them. I've seen a lot of people use this one for John Silver, which I think is funny because it works perfectly. But yeah, there's my Highlanders. I've got a few more tag teams in here I'd like to get to. Next up is Crime Time, and two elites that I think are fantastic. This JTG, I think we only got him in the elite line this one time, and I don't know like if that was a contract thing, if he was released. I wasn't collecting at that point, so I wasn't really paying attention, but he got just special molding for everything. He hit like the boots, the knee pad, like there's just so much to this, the hat, so much is really cool. I don't think he came with a vest, like his bulletproof vest he would wear. And then the Chad is also, like it came with the cloth goods. He uses the Austin torso, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah. And just overall, two really good figures. We got some basics of them as well. And obviously, Shad's not with us. JTG is tearing it up on the indies. He's doing his own thing now, and who knows, maybe we'll get him in like a Rumble appearance, but I don't really know if there'd be an avenue for getting these elites again, so I'm very careful with these. They're on ratchet joints, and they sound ratchety when I move them around, so these guys mostly just hang out on my shelf, but still, Crime Time is really cool. I'm glad we did get elites of them, and just cross my fingers that one day we get them again. Next up, we have Charlie Haas from his singles run, and then we have the Gregory Helms elite that I put together. And the Charlie Haas, I wasn't like dying to make a singles version of him, but I had the extra Charlie Haas head, and I went ahead, ordered the decals. It was pretty simple custom. It was like a ringmaster body, and the boots might have come from Michael Hayes, Elite 83 Michael Hayes, and then this torso is what they use for Arn Anderson and Tully, like those older, like barrel-chested guys. And then the Gregory Helms, I don't remember what parts I used. The upper stuff is all like the Daniel Bryan kind of mold. The lowers, I don't remember because these are still in the pale skin tone, and I don't remember which figure came with those. I know we've gotten smaller legs like that in the tan skin tone, but like if you guys have any idea, let me know, because I'd love to chase down some more of those. Anyway, the Charlie Haas is a singles run. I mostly just remember him teaming up with Rico and having like a love triangle story with Dawn Marie and Jackie, I think it was. And then Gregory Helms was obviously the Hurricane post-Hurricane run, and he really just like let his wrestling speak for itself. He was way more serious. He had I think he had the longest run with the cruiserweight belt. Like he held it for a really long time, and I thought that was really cool because it was a completely different side of the Hurricane, Gregory Helms or whatever. So that was a must-have for my collection, both, again, using Jack's heads. And that's part of the reason I have so many Ruthless Aggression customs, is because we've got so many different guys, different characters during the Ruthless Aggression era, and a lot of them did get figures. Now, to round out the day, we have the Spirit Squad. I won't say they were one of my favorite stables. They were definitely entertaining, and for a bunch of male cheerleaders, their gimmick, I feel like, surprisingly got over fine with as cowardly heels. In ring they were fine. They feuded with DX. I don't know what I don't remember them doing a lot outside of their feud with DX. They were tag team champs for a while, and they used the Freebird rule, so like they all kind of took turns defending the belts. Obviously, this is where Dolph Ziggler, I think this was the first thing he did on the main roster. Kenny was around a little bit after as a singles guy. But then so it was Johnny, Mikey, Mitch, Nikki, and Kenny. Those five. Really, I can't remember. I think this is Mitch. I forget which two, or these guys look too familiar, or too similar. And then Kenny and Nikki, obviously. But these guys were a lot of work. I had to, it's one thing to do a tag team and just do a couple guys where you're pretty much painting the same thing, but then to do 5 of them was something I wasn't sure for a while if I felt like doing, and then one day eventually I was like, okay, let's just go for it, get it done. I think I did these guys for Work in Progress Wednesday early on in the channel, and all these heads are from their Jax figures. I got them at a flea market. I think I've talked about Toy Base 10 it's maybe not a flea market, but a toy store that has just a ton of stuff. It's one of my favorite places to go to. So I'd go there, and you kind of just barter with the owner for the price. And these guys' figures were all busted up, like missing the arms, but all I cared about was the heads. So I got them all pretty cheap. They sat around in my bin for a while, and then eventually I just got to it. I do need to touch them up a little bit. The torsos, on these guys, scraped a little bit. But overall, it was something that I absolutely had to have, because whether they should have been or not, they were featured pretty prominently on Raw, fighting DX for a while. So I have so much fun making these deeper cut characters for figures, and for me, the Ruthless Aggression era was full of them. So that is going to wrap everything up for today's Ruthless Aggression Showcase. We've still got a little bit more to come. Maybe 2 more videos. Just trying to look at my shelf here. Probably probably like 2 more, maybe 3 videos just of Ruthless Aggression stuff, and then we'll move on to a different era. So please continue to like, share, subscribe. If you like what we're doing here, go check out some more of the showcase videos that I have, especially if you're a Ruthless Aggression fan. We've got a lot of parts to this already, but other than that, I've got nothing for you. But remember, you can't buy happiness, you can buy more action figures. Figure Dude out.